Hi, and welcome to Tech Stories. This is your host, Jatin. On this episode, I'm going to try something different. I've been working on a book, a novel, something based on current technology and the evolution of that current technology within a few decades. This is going to be an intro to that novel. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. It was fun hanging out with friends at the bar. The old stock, as some call it. The bowl of fries and wings aren't doing enough to soak up 3 beers he's put down. Cozy, busy, and surrounded by new friends Nigel met through a photography meetup. Like him, they're all just trying to make new friends in a new place. Too bad the old stock doesn't have any remote charging ports for his jacket. The thread batteries are almost depleted. Buzz is setting in now. It's time to go home. Nigel says his goodbyes and heads for the door. The bouncer opens the door, and Nigel steps out. It's cold. Another atmospheric river. This one is not the Pineapple Express type. No, this is straight from the Arctic. He can feel the bite in the air. The old North Beach neighborhood, bustling with nightlife. All sorts of human emotions reverberate through the street. Named after an Italian navigator, although some might argue he got lost on his way to India. Columbus Avenue runs diagonally through some of the oldest parts of the city, surrounded on both sides with bars, clubs, and restaurants. Walking by a club, scantily clad women and men wearing their best, trying to impress. Aren't they cold? Wonders Nigel. Sniff, sniff. What's that smell? Tobacco? Someone smoking a cigarette. That's very rare. Rain is starting to pick up, the ghostly shape of the pyramid building, almost like a Christmas tree in the distance. Nigel crosses the street onto Broadway. Sniff, sniff. That's the smell of roast duck. Chinatown isn't that far away. Wind picks up. Great. Now the rain is coming sideways. Pants are getting wet. The cold is biting Nigel's bones. Born in Escondido, raised in San Diego, living in the same state, but it never felt this cold. Nigel remembers the time he spent a week in Calgary in late fall. It was a work trip. It was so cold, he thought his eyeballs were going to fall off. It gets a lot colder here in the winter, said his coworkers as they laughed. No, San Francisco is different. It's a different type of cold. It's been 6 months since Nigel moved to the city. For someone who grew up in SoCal, he surprisingly really likes the gloomy, high-density, urban aspect of San Francisco. It suits his personality. It reminds him of all those great early 20th century crime novels. You know, the ones with the gloomy San Francisco night dampened by a thick marine layer, the haunting sounds of a foghorn in the distance, and the almost comical sound of a cable car bell. Very romantic, except the cold. Nigel never really liked cold, and today is cold and it's wet. Nigel has a brilliant idea. I know, I'll watch a detective drama once I get home. Home, more like a shed on Miss K's property in Coal Valley. 230 square foot shack, enough for a bed, a bathroom, and a small kitchen. It's a tiny home, or as the city calls it, an auxiliary dwelling unit, ADU. It's perfect for a single arrowhead, a slang term for aerospace engineers like Nigel. Nigel pauses. Correction. Recently let go, Arrowhead. 6 months at the Interplasma Space Company, or blah blah blah, some name like that. They decided not to renew his contract. Actually, having them not renew his contract wasn't so bad. He found the job barely interesting, feeding and training an AI, as well as correcting any wrong assessments the AI would make. The company's network of smart, autonomous weather-sensing satellites just couldn't cut it with a competitive NASA bid going to another company. So, the company decided to reduce their workforce. Plus, with the new minimum income laws now in place, as long as Nigel has a job 8 months out of the year, he can maintain his credit score and quality of life. No, being let go isn't the issue. The hard part now is the song and dance required to get a new gig. God, interviewing sucks. Nigel asks his watch about the current charge level. His thread battery is down to 4%. jacket is already in low energy mode. Not enough power to turn on the jacket heating pads or even listen to music. He's got just enough power in the jacket to call and authenticate with "Let's Fly." Let's fly. Let's effin' fly. What a stupid name for a taxi company, Nigel thinks. The service is okay. A lot of city residents rely on it as their primary form of transportation now. But their ads. In a gray, foggy, cold city, those teal and pink ads? Just thinking about it makes Nigel shudder. The company started out as an airline, best known for their happy, cheery employees who sported a fake smile. As a side business, and to make it easier for folks to get to the airport, the company purchased a bunch of autonomous vehicles specifically to drive people from city centers to the airport. In the case of San Francisco, the airport was conveniently located 12 miles south, convenient for the taxi companies. Well, the airline business didn't pan out too well, and the company gave that up years ago. But the taxi service, that became a hit. Let's Fly and a few other companies have monopolized the private taxi service. A lot of young people like Nigel forego owning a private vehicle. Instead, a subscription-based model like the Let's Fly one have gained in popularity. So much so that they even started replacing public transport systems. Car makers now specifically make cars just for rental and charter business. Because the aesthetics and the 0 to 60 performance are no longer that important, cars have started looking more like the old horse-drawn carriages of before. Tall, flat sides, and bidirectional. They make excellent moving billboards for the let fly jerks. But why that color scheme? Questions Nigel. Aren't these corporations supposed to have marketing advisors? Nigel walked over to one of the old Muni bus stops. He smirks. See, I'm not that drunk. I walked here, didn't I? Nigel tells himself. The city doesn't want anyone picking up a ride from anywhere. The old bus stops. That's where you get picked up and dropped off. Here I am, Nigel tells his watch. His watch AI responds. Hello, Nigel. Are you ready to go home? The AI speaks in a manner as to complement the user's emotions. Yeah, where's the car? Said Nigel. Normally the AI would know that Nigel was heading home the moment he left the bar and started walking towards the bus stop. The car should be here, or at least that's what the super happy cheery Let's Fly ads say. I'm sorry, Nigel. The Let's Fly service is experiencing a greater than predicted surge demand. The service is now reporting a 12-minute wait time, said the AI. Bullshit, thought Nigel. Not just are these AIs taking over all the easy jobs, they're also becoming good liars. Why doesn't the thing just tell the truth? Because we want to save money on the number of vehicles we procure for a busy night like today, a bloody Friday with heavy rain that was forecast 2 months ago. We also think that jobless meat sacks like you can wait 12 minutes in the rain. Does the thing even understand the concept of cold? Grumble, 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 thought Nigel. Sigh. There's nothing to it. Wait 12 minutes, think warm thoughts, get home, take a hot shower, and curl up in a blanket. 11 minutes 56 seconds. That's the notification his watch AI bragged about. There, in front of Nigel, stood a teal and pink chariot. The automatic doors open. Before the sliding door opens all the way, Nigel jumps in and straps his seatbelt on. Door, close, turn on heater, full blast, Nigel orders. That was an unnecessary order. The AI already knew that Nigel was traveling alone. It also knew that the temperature outside was below the optimal efficient but comfortable temperature of 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or 20 degrees Celsius, which is the temperature it set just before picking up most passengers. But the AI knew and had modeled the fact that Nigel doesn't like cold, so before picking him up, it blasted the heater and got the internal temperature up to 78 degrees Fahrenheit, or 25 degrees Celsius. Probably because of the work of a legal committee, the single-piece sliding door closes at a glacial pace. Once the door is closed, the vehicle AI is able to fully authenticate with Nigel's AI, and with only 2% left on the thread batteries, the car starts moving. No need for Nigel to say anything. It knows Nigel's heading home. The watch AI had already told the Let's Fly assholes where home is. It's the one nice thing about AIs in the 2040s. They do a lot less talking than those AIs from the 2030s.